Hi, Erica Steeves here. I am so excited to be back today and talking with Karmen Meyer. And I am so excited to pick her brain. She has 11 years experience and currently has pivoted and changed her business into being a brand photography. She really focuses on women empowerment and small business. And remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. A new video will be dropping every Tuesday. Today we are doing an interview, but come behind the scenes as I do commercial product shoots and product styling, giving you tips and tricks and all of the inside information. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe to my channel and watch the other videos today. And I just can't wait to dive in with this conversation. So Karmen, if please introduce yourself a little and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Karmen. It's nice to talk to you today. Like you said, I've been a photographer for 11 years, which is a pretty long time in this industry, actually. And I started out after I finished. I went to school for photography, and when I finished, I immediately went into weddings because that was sort of what felt the most available, and like I could right away get a job in that. Going into commercial work actually pretty early in my career. Because I went to school, I got connected with some really amazing commercial photographers in Western Canada and ended up spending a few years working with them. But then I had babies. I quickly realized that the pace of life I was living with, like kind of balancing weddings on the weekends and then all these commercial shoots, which are fairly intense and like you have to be available when they're available type thing, was just not working for my life anymore and was like really stressful. So I ended up pivoting to take on only portrait clients. And I still do that. I work with mostly women for like lifestyle and branding for them. And then also branding for businesses, really incredible women-owned businesses. I'm at a place in my business where I feel so aligned, and it genuinely makes me so happy to be here. I loved all the other phases too, and I learned so much from each of those kind of times and spaces. But I'm really glad that it all led here, and that I was smart enough, I'm like patting myself on the back here, but that I was smart enough to recognize when it wasn't working for me and not to quit, but to sort of just change course, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no. And when I first came across your, like when we first met in that closed Facebook group with the Knowledge Business Blueprint, and I was seeing some of the images that you were posting, I was so inspired because it's kind of like travel photographer meets brand photographer and women empowerment, and your message and just like the imagery that you create, it's so Karmen Meyer. Like when I see it, even just you showing up today with your little hat and like cute, like locally made dress. I've seen you do stories on your clothes and things like this on your Instagram. I just like, you're like walking the walk and talking the talk, which I think is so amazing. And I love that you have that wedding like experience and that more what a lot of photographers do right out of school, because it's the opportunities that are available to them. But I love that you also have that brand photography, and you can see how photography can help small businesses and empower women entrepreneurs and all of the things. So super excited. What else can you share with our viewers today about how you pivoted into product photography, and what that looks like? On what does your day-to-day look like? All the things.
I pivoted kind of slowly. First of all, that was like the best compliment you could have ever given me. I'm just like grinning from ear to ear over here. Thank you. But part of the reason I think why things feel so aligned for me is because I'm quite slow and intentional about how I move in my business and my everyday life. So it was kind of a slow process. It wasn't just like I was like, you know what, today weddings, I'm done with them and I'm going to do this instead. I did realize right away that I had to be done with weddings, but I kind of had to finish up what I was doing. But while I was finishing up the weddings that I had already been working on, I started reaching out to businesses in my community that I thought were a good fit. And not only and intentionally, not reaching out to sell to them. I was buying their products. I was talking to them. I was supporting them in whatever way I felt that I could, even if it wasn't buying their products. It was, sharing them on Instagram or whatever, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like organic and meaningful. And only for brands that I truly loved. I wouldn't just go blow smoke about somebody just because I wanted to, get them as a client. So I did that. And then on top of that, I started shooting their products and just sharing them on my page. I wasn't giving them away to them for free. However, if they contacted me and wanted to reshare them, I almost always say yes, because this is a good way for us to like start connecting. And then that photo performs really well on their Instagram. And they're like, oh, this might be worth hiring this girl for whatever. And at that point, it's not that it might just be worth to hire this girl. It's not, at that point, it might be worth to hire my friend or this person that I actually know now. It's not like a cold call. So yeah, I guess don't expect to just be able to like do like a 90-degree or 180 pivot. Like just curve into it and shoot the type of work that you want to shoot, if that makes sense. So for me, I wanted to shoot ethically and sustainably made stuff. So I wasn't just shooting anything that just anything. I was purposefully seeking out brands and photographing them in a way that aligned with my style, but also what they might want to see too. I'm long-winded.
Oh, that's amazing. And I think it's so cool that you were really intentional about it. And even just like creating content for yourself, whether you're going to be writing a blog post about something, or if you're going to be doing an Instagram, you like just sharing your life in different ways. And as a photographer, maybe challenging yourself in ways, or like trying new ways of techniques or things like this. Are you loving this interview with Karmen? What was your major takeaway? Drop me a comment below this video and we'll continue the conversation. Do you have any tips for product styling for up and coming photographers on how they could practice, or even just kind of come up with creative ideas on how they could take things that they already own to be able to capture them and start sharing them to attract clients that are their dream clients?
Yeah, totally. I'm actually quite a minimalist, so I actually rarely go out to like buy props for shoots. But that's partially because I have such a dialed in kind of niche area that I'm serving. So you might need to buy props. But tips for that, let's see.
I always love buying, like when I do buy, and even like for you, like I know you live on a large property, it could be like wildflowers that are growing in your backyard.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
vegetables that are from your garden and things like this that really add to the dimension, or even those weathered baskets that you would carry your vegetables into the house. Like all like I've seen like even you had like one of those like large jugs, the growlers with your with your bloodstone. And it's just like, it's like authentically you, and it really speaks to the brand, because like it's a lived in kind of feeling of a brand where they have like more of a sustainable outlook and minimalist. So it just like those type of props you can't buy, but like you have to live in them, and like they really, and those kind of brands are out there and people are looking for that. So it's just like you have something to offer and bring to the table. It's just a matter of like how you frame the story and how you share it.
Totally. And it's going to be super unique for each person. People shouldn't just go out, look at my stuff and try to recreate that by your style is going to be so much different. So the things in your home and your lifestyle are going to be so much different. And why what I'm doing works for me and feels aligned with me is because, like you said, I'm using the things that I actually use in my real life. And I do tend to just, like you said, take kind of pretty spots. Like that shot you're talking about was literally my raincoat and my boots on the front porch step. And trust me, the rest of the front porch was a mess. You know what I mean? So, and as I know there's a lot of wedding photographers and people who are kind of pivoting into branding right now who have kids and stuff. Like, don't let that hold you back. No, you can kind of clear a space. I use my kitchen table all the time because I'm lucky to have a really big kitchen table with a nice dining room light, or not light, dining room window that has nice light. So I shoot there all the time. I just clear all of our stuff off and I shoot. And for me, I think some of the most important aspects to me when it comes to styling or setting up product shots inside my home, because I'm shooting in my home 90% of the time for product shoots, unless the company has, one of the brands I shoot for has a really beautiful space and it's tied really firmly into her overall brand. So we should always shoot at her place. But otherwise, I'm shooting at my place, clear of my spot. And for me, composition actually is probably one of the most important parts for me when it comes to products and like telling a story, kind of how we were talking about. A few ways I do that is by kind of creating almost a lifestyle image. So it's all totally set up, but it feels like a snapshot of something that was actually there, like was actually left laying in that location. Or honestly, if I'm taking a portrait or if I'm taking a product shot, what is the story I'm telling? I'm always kind of checking back in with that. Who was sitting at this table? Why did they leave it like this? Who was sitting on the step drinking out of that growler? Why was it like that? So I always am telling a story, and then I use those elements. I've heard you talk about it too, kind of like intentionally cropping things out so you're focusing on the main product. So there's so many ways to use composition to tell that story. Another thing that I talked about in my lessons that I did on Instagram is leading lines. And I think that's a really powerful way to use composition, because if you ever look at an image and you feel kind of like lost in it, you don't know where to go, you don't know what you're looking at, it's usually because the photographer wasn't using leading lines. And that's because all humans tend to read, left? Yeah, left to right. So it's really nice to use part of your product coming out of your frame. I don't know if you can see me there, kind of coming in here, and your eyes are going to kind of sweep across the image like this. And it feels really natural and powerful if your image tells a story kind of like that. You're kind of let in and let out, and some are usually in the middle or wherever is the product that you're selling. And the rest are just part of the story.
That's so amazing. I just want to touch base really quickly too, is that what she's talking about, this leading line tutorial, it's on her Instagram TV, and she has a bunch of really great resources there where she is sharing tips about how to do photography, so many things. Do you want to just share a little bit more about this, of where people can find more and how to learn more from you, Karmen?
Sure. Thanks, Sarah. So in light of all this fun pandemic stuff, there's been a lot of us stuck at home. And so I thought, and I was stuck at home too. So I figured that would be a good opportunity to hop on my Instagram Live and teach a photography lesson every day. I did it for 5 days, and I'm definitely going to keep on doing some. So that's on my Instagram Live. But I also have lots of blog posts that are queued up, and some already on my blog too. So if you are looking for blog posts about photographers, just click the little for photographers category and you'll get all that good stuff.
That's so cool. It's amazing too. I also saw that you have a new product that you're launching where you want to support local, like frontline workers and things like this. And it's also like how you're positioning yourself for success, like after this pandemic, like what you can be doing. Do you have any thoughts that you want to share on this, and like what kind of led to kind of coming up with this product?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is still very new. I literally basically thought of it like 3 days ago. So it's not like a fully formed idea. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of us have spent a lot of time sitting with ourselves during this time, kind of panicking about what our businesses are going to look like on the other side of this thing. It's definitely scary for luxury services like photography. There's no denying we are not a commodity. We're like a luxury service. And how do we stay front of mind? How do we stay connected? And how do I keep serving my community? So I kind of just dwelled on it, and then decided to go ahead and basically pre-sell some marathon sessions. I do them every summer. They're usually a big hit. They always sell out. And give 50% of the proceeds to frontline workers in central Alberta, where I'm from. And actually, I have a lot of clients also from northern Alberta, so I'm debating doing a second one if this one goes well, and then donating the proceeds to their community foundation. And there's these foundations are working together in such a beautiful way to I feel so good about sending my money to them. Yeah. So basically, it's such a good marrying of helping me and helping them. And I think it's going to go well. I'll get back to you on that. But yeah.
Yeah, that is so inspiring and so amazing of how you have this service heart and how you are always working every day to really align your heart and your message with your business.
Yeah, thank you.
I've really watched, and I know that we've had a conversation, or I've been in a conversation with you before of like those questions of like, what is enough, and like, how can I still work and thrive as a small business, but like not feel the pressure to keep going bigger than what I actually want, and like defining what is enough for you. So I just like am always inspired and in awe of all of your amazingness. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming on to my YouTube channel to share your message and story. Where can people find you? Tell me all of the things and how people can connect and learn from you further.
Thank you so much for having me, Erica. I am at Karmen with a K. Can I just, I'll just spell it. I'm at Karmen Meyer Photography, and it's Karmen with a K pretty much everywhere. My website is karmenmeyer.ca.
Perfect. I'll drop it in the link below as well, where you'll be able to grab everything just quickly with just a click of the mouse. So
Yeah,
be sure to
perfect.
check her out, and just so excited to have you here today. Did you know I have a free Facebook group where I am continuing the conversation and getting to connect with you guys further in a closed Facebook group? Grab it in the link below and come join me in the Product Styling Lounge. Remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Today I had a great interview with Karmen, and I'm super excited to share it with you guys. And stay tuned, there's more interviews to come and even more behind the scenes photo shoots of doing product styling and commercial photography. Stay tuned, a new video is going to be launching every Tuesday.